There we go. So I look back, at that period of time and I'm like, dang, like I grew so much, through all of that life. And so if you're working on growing in this business, you have to be ready for a challenge because something is going to be thrown your way because the devil loves to throw tricks at us when he sees us trying to level up and do better. The next thing, okay, so I just saw this on Cammie's Facebook and I shared it, but it was a quote and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to, share that on the Zoom. And she said, if you're asking for the next level, don't be surprised to find a new devil. And I was like, oh, and I just like read it like 3 more times and I was just like, dang, like that's so true. Like, who okay, if you're on here, I want to drop a 1 in the comments. If you're working on leveling up, if you're working on a promotion, here's my 1. Your girl's trying to go press. Okay. So I'm trying to level up. Okay. Do y'all want to know what the new devil that I faced today? Berkeley broke her dang arm. Like, my child has a broken arm, okay? Also, now our dog, Huxley, Berkeley's little puppy, who's like the love of her life, he is sick again. And the last time he was sick like this, if y'all remember, it was like $1,500 later at the freaking vet and ER clinic. He was better and he just needed sugar water. So I'm praying to Jesus that this dang sugar water that I've given him helps him because that's today's challenge, like that's the challenge that I faced today. And through all of that, guess what I've still been doing? I've still showed up to this business. Just like, honestly, I was like, I want to go to bed. Like, I was ready for bed, like, at 4:30 when we got home from the doctor. And I was like, no, I have a team training tonight, and I'm not going to not show up for my girls because they deserve it. It doesn't matter what I'm going through in life or what I'm feeling. I'm still showing up because that's what you do in this business. So I'm showing up because I have to, right? And also because failing at this and not doing this and going and getting a job, like doing hair again or dental assisting, those are not an option for me. That's not the life that I want to live. I love the things that this business has brought to me, and this is what I want. Like, I want to stay home with my babies. I want to work this business. I want to make friends. I want to be able to travel. I want to do all the things that this business allows me to do, okay? So that's basically today, right? The devil's trying. He's trying to distract me, but I'm not going to let it work. I can recognize it and keep moving forward, okay? So if you feel, oh, and 2, I want you to drop a 2 in the chat if you feel like there's something holding you back, right? You're working towards that level up, but there's something, here's my 2, there's something that's just distracting you, holding you back, keeping you from getting there, okay? So you see, we're all in the same boat, okay? So this Zoom is basically going to help you, like, it's going to open your eyes. 1, it's going to show you the importance of personal development. And 2, it should just like light a fire into you that you're just like, wow, like, okay, everybody's going through something and she's going through this and she's going through that and they're going through that and they're still showing up and they're still successful. So I can do it too, okay? So this Zoom is for you. Let me see if I can. Okay, so Amanda, I'm going to spotlight you so I can see you and you're unmuted. Perfect. Are you unmuted? Said you were. Unmute. Oh. Why isn't it unmuting you? Hold on.
There it is.
I can find you on here.
Can you hear me?
Okay, now are you muted? Now it says you're unmuted.
Can you hear me?
No, I still can't hear you. Hold on. Okay, mute. Okay, try now. What is going on? Hold on.
They can hear me.
Okay, I can hear you.
You can hear me.
Yes.
Sweet.
In my computer. Sometimes it does crazy things. But okay, so what I want you to start with is, first off, tell us your story, who you are, all of that good stuff. And then basically we'll just go into kind of like what we were talking about earlier, just like bounce off of all of that. And then I do have some questions for you whenever we get through with everything else.
So you want me to tell my story first?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Okay. So first I want to say that you kind of have to walk in your weakness. Like, I was reading before I got on here and God just kind of told me, you got to walk in your weakness. Like, there's a purpose for it. So I'll get to that later. But I'm a triple diamond. I've been in the business for 4 years, and I went triple in February. But it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. I joined in July of 2015, and I had to borrow my mom's credit card while I stole it and told her I was just going to use it because I couldn't afford to join. I was kind of writing some posts down today because when we cast vision, I was just watching this video from Jade Hooper, but about casting vision. And we have to kind of look at our past. And I was writing this thing for a post, and it says, hey, remember that one time that you stayed home all day, every day, because you never had enough gas to go anywhere because the gas money that you had was reserved for your husband so he could get to and from work? Remember that? Oh, no, you don't, because social media thought that my life was perfect. But we were on the struggle bus. So you guys, we were having garage sales to make ends meet. If the water bill was $5 higher, I had to have a garage sale. I had to sell something on OfferUp or Craigslist. Times were really, really tough. The only time we really went out to do anything was to Bible study, and sometimes every week I felt guilty doing that because then maybe I couldn't buy diapers. $100 in groceries a month for 4 people. Put a 2 in the comments if you're like, holy crap, how did you feed a family of 4 with $100? We have freaking done it. We did it for a long time. But I was that mom on social media at midnight crying. I couldn't sleep. Our marriage was strained because of finances. Adam had a great job, but you guys, we had our kids at 35 weeks, both of them. And so we had a lot of medical debt because of NICU bills. A lot. Our credit cards were maxed out because of medical. And anything that we had to put on those cards, times were tough. Like I even wanted to separate from my husband because it was just so stressful. It wasn't him. I have an incredible husband. But money and finances can do that. That is why the Bible says, it's one of those reasons why the Bible says that money is the root of all evil. When it's not there, life is hard. When you have too much of it and it becomes the source of everything, your happiness, that's a problem as well. But I was on Instagram, and here's the weird thing. This is how I knew it was a God thing. I was never on Instagram, ever. I was a Facebook girl. But this girl had followed me. I went to check her out. How many of you found this on social media? Put a 3 in the comments if you found it were social media. So, okay, a lot of us. But she followed me, and so I went to check her out, and she was a Christian, and she had twins, and then she had another little baby, and I checked out her stuff. And do you know that to this day, I've been in 4 years, she's only ever been Ruby. She made 1 post. She stayed consistent for that period of time, and I saw the wrap, and I had used it 2 years before. But the person who gave me the wrap was my cousin, and I want you to take note of this. I didn't give him or his wife the time of day hearing about this business because they were like, you would rock at this. And I do. But the point is I didn't give him the time of day because he never followed through with jack crap in his life. He never took anything seriously. He never stayed consistent. And so, but I used to be like that too. I had follow through issues. That's a whole nother Zoom. But you've got to listen to that. If you are not consistent, if you have been someone that's not consistent in your life with a lot of things, don't expect immediate success because people know your pattern. And I knew his. So 2 years prior to that, I said no. Well, actually, I told him it was like me and my dad were like, oh, this is such a scam. Probably not. But then I saw this wrap and I knew it worked. I lost 3 inches with that wrap, but I was broke as a joke when he gave it to me. So I didn't even think about it again. But I was 40 pounds overweight. We were broke. And I was like, well, if I'm going to be broke and fat, I'm going to try and get skinny. So you know what I did? I sold something in my house so that I could buy that freaking $25 wrap. When you want something bad enough, you make it happen. Because we were already selling stuff to make ends meet. Why not sell something else? Okay. So I bought it, lost more inches. And at this time, RNF was coming out, unique, stay-at-home businesses were more of a common thing with a lot of women our age and stay-at-home moms, finding a way to have community and make some extra money. And I researched a lot because a lot of my friends were approaching me. One of the top people in Avon? I don't know, one of them, top earners. I've known her for years. She kept asking me, will you listen to this? Will you watch this? And I'm like, yeah, never did it. But this wrap had my attention. And this is why you have to be loud about all parts of the business, all of them, because it wasn't the wrap. It wasn't the income, because I don't really know anything about the compensation plan at all or how to make money. I was Googling things, and I found on YouTube a video of the conference from that year. It was Cindy Pentecost. She was on stage and she was saying, we are going to have an optional night of worship. If you want to stay, we'd love to have you. I was in. I was in because I had been praying for something, for an answer. So joined, and I didn't know what the crap I was doing. I was spammy. I mean, I probably could be a poster board for spam. I didn't sign a customer for 2 weeks, but then all of a sudden, because I stayed consistent, and when my upline got me on the phone, she's like, how much do you want to make? And I was like, all of it. I never gave myself a cap, period. I didn't know anything. I made $1,000 in 3 weeks. Wrap cash, signed distributors, went executive. I went Ruby in 2 months, got that bonus. But then guess what happened? I built my entire business all by myself. But I was okay with that because I really didn't know any other thing. Like, I signed distributors, 2 customers, that's $100. I need money. I was okay, easy. I was completing my steps to success like twice a month. I called Lori Conway. She didn't really know me, but I was like, I've only been in the business 3 months, but this is how many people I got. Where am I? Conference rolls around. My upline was like, Amanda, you have to go. And I'm telling you this longer version because I want you to know it. All the money that we had was going to the extra expenses. You know, when the car breaks down and you're like, oh crap, I don't have this money. That's what it was going to. Broken windshields, because that happened. Flat tire on a road trip, that happened. But I got to pay cash for it because I had been doing every freaking day what my upline was teaching me to do. I just didn't not do it. It didn't matter. Some days I didn't have internet, or because our bill wasn't paid, or whatever it might have been. I went to Chick-fil-A, my kids played, and I worked. There was nothing that was going to keep me from that. I am not lazy like some people. Sorry if that hits a nerve. Maybe that's a good thing. That $500 Ruby bonus, it paid for my conference ticket and my plane ticket. Lexi, my upline, she's the ambassador now. She said, you do this, this, and this, and I'll pay for your room. I did it. My room was covered. Went to conference. That's when they announced the first time Emerald bonus. I went Emerald in 2 weeks. Diamond the next month, $20,000 bonus. Earned my husband the $2,000 Emerald bonus. Year later, I stayed Diamond for a year, but with those bonuses, and I was an enroller. You guys did some new crap. How many of you complete your steps to success every freaking month? Put a 4 in the comments. Because if you don't, we need to talk about that later. I was making bank. Year later, I went double Diamond, $30,000 bonus. My husband went Diamond, $10,000 bonus. I was double for 2 years. This year, I went triple. Bonus. I was being paid as presidential pay, as a triple. It was incredible. And it was worth it because I worked, making that money from home. But here's the thing that I lost rank. I lost rank this year, y'all. And I lost it in June. And it wasn't because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. It's because of life. It happened to my leaders. And it sucks. So when Carly posted, I was like, I'm here right now. I'm coming out of this life happen, because before a couple of weeks ago, life hadn't happened to me. Everybody else's life had happened to me. And my business went, and I'm like, I'm not winning. My team isn't winning. I'm still the highest paid out of all my people. I don't want that to be it. I don't want that. Like, my team's not winning. I was texting Cami today and I was like, I want my team winning again. What do I got to do? Sometimes you have to hold people freaking accountable instead of being too sympathetic. And I've had to learn to be yellow because in my first year and a half of business, I drove some people away because I was too red, because I knew struggle and I didn't understand why people who can't pay their bills won't just post some stuff and do something on Facebook like that. It's stupidity at its finest to me. And I had to learn that some people just don't know. Some people have to be led while other people just lead. And I had to learn that. But when you are a diamond and above, you are leaders. You should be. You should be. And so here's the question I have to start asking people. How many of you joined for $200 a month? Put a 1 in the comments. Just for 200. Just for 2. And how many of you putting that 1 in the comments are doing that every month? You're making $200 every month. Ouchie, wawa. So here's my opinion on that. If you want $200 a month, that's 2 distributors and 4 customers. That's not even the minimum that our company just gives us the basis off of. It's 2 distributors and 4 customers. I did that in the first 4 days of this month because I know, do you hear my children? Because I know how to do that. And there are people in this business, you go 6 months without signing anybody, and it's not because you can't. It's because you're scared. You're just scared. So what are you afraid of? Are you scared of your past? Maybe you are one of those people that doesn't follow through. You're not staying consistent. Who's like, okay, I don't stay consistent, Amanda? Put a 4 in the comments. I don't stay consistent. Okay, so sister friends, it's your fault you ain't making no money in this business. It's your fault. It ain't nobody else's. It's not Carly's, it's not Mark's. It's your fault. Because if you would message even the minimum, like 25 people a day, messaging, okay, if you think messaging is annoying and you don't want to annoy your friends, just put like crazy stuff in the comments, just like that. Okay. Telemarketers call you every day and they get paid hourly. Okay, they're okay with calling you because they making $10 an hour. Message 25 people in 15, 20 minutes. Because every stinking time that I do, I come up with 3 or 4 loyals and I sign at least 1 person out of 25. That's my number. So I know if I message 100 people in a day, I could honestly sign 4 people in a week if I wanted to. But I'm not even that consistent. So you got to actually look in the mirror and say, okay, why am I not where I'm at? Because here's the thing. I didn't get distracted when I lost rank. And this is not a pity party. This is not anything like that. It is to say, and let me preface it with this. 2 weeks ago, end of the month, I had a seizure. I have epilepsy. I live with anxiety and depression. I have since I was a teen. In 2009, it's been a little over 10 years, I checked myself voluntarily into a psychiatric center, and I got therapy for 21 days, group therapy. I had to deal with demons and ghosts and things that haunted me that I'd never dealt with, really hard things. The first night I was there, I witnessed someone try to commit suicide by slashing their throat. I have lived through a lot of crap. So I have stuff too. 2 weeks ago, I had a seizure so bad, I was unconscious for 30 minutes, and I'm usually unconscious for maybe 2 or 3. My husband couldn't get me. He called an ambulance. I had 2 seizures while the paramedics were here. They rushed me to the hospital. I had another one on the way. They're all stress-induced. Everyone's life that had happened in the past few months, because this is my lifeline. This is what we do. We're a full-time family, and now my husband's going to get 3 jobs. So I was stressed, and I was doing everything that I possibly could. I was completing my steps. I was trying to pour into people. I was up at 6:30 doing Zooms for a team that wouldn't show up sometimes. And I got tired. Anyone ever got real tired because they give and give and give? Put a 1 in the comments. It's okay. You're allowed to feel that way. I got sad, depressed, resentful, and yesterday I got angry. And I'm just being very transparent with you. I got angry yesterday and I threatened to resign. That's where I was. But then I got a call from my brother. And an hour later, I was on my face praying and I had a new why. Just like that, because my husband's been praying for me, because he knows that I'm meant to do this. And then today, when God said, walk in your weakness, my depression and my anxiety gets really bad when life happens to other people. Life happened to me. I had those seizures, but you know what? That very next day, I'm on my phone signing 200 BV by the end of the month, maintaining Double Diamond. And then the next day I signed 2 distributors. And then the next day I signed 4 customers. Life's not allowed to happen to Amanda. She's got to lead a whole team. But it's allowed to happen for Joe and Sally and Mo. They can take all the time off. You guys cannot take time off. There's too much riding on the greatness that you're suppressing with distractions. How many of you can admit that maybe it's actually distractions? I know you've got life going on. We've had affairs happen on our team. We've had death. We've had cancer. We've had miscarriages. We've had a lot of affairs happening on our team lately. Life is happening to a bunch of people. But I have to lead by example. If you're a diamond and above, put a 1 in the comments. You got to lead by example. And if you want to be a diamond or above, you got to lead by example. So that's my story in a nutshell. And I decided, you know what? I have a new why. God gave it to me just at the time I was ready to throw in the towel. It always happens because somebody else was praying for me. And then I got a call and I answered that call. And it had nothing to do with me. So that's all I got as of right now. I kind of went on a tangent. Sorry, y'all.
I love that. Our stories are like actually kind of very like similar because I remember like going to the grocery store and going to like check out and my card declining, and then like having to just walk forward with this buggy of groceries that you can't pay for, and you just walk out of the grocery store and you feel like everybody's eyes are like burning in your back, and you're like carrying your kid out like, I promise I'm not a complete failure as a parent, like, and then our water's been shut off, cars repossessed, our heat, literally I joined this business in November of 2016, and that next December our heat got shut off. I remember spending like $30 at the dollar store on little heaters that I could plug in to, try to keep like our house warm. And, this just popped in my head. We have a lot of moms on this team, and, put a 3 in the chat if you would do absolutely anything for your child, no matter what. Like, of course, you're going to bend over backwards to make sure that that kid has everything they could ever want, everything they could ever need. If they're ever, just you're like, as a mom, like that's just the mama bear coming out in you. It doesn't matter what it is. Like you're, like I'm like now, thankfully, because of this business, but like before, let's say Berkeley wanted to do gymnastics, and let's say I wasn't in this business. Do y'all want to know how I was paying my bills? By selling my belongings. I sold Apple Watches. I pawned my wedding ring. It got so bad that there was a point to where we would go and pawn my wedding ring for $400 every single month. And then when Brad would like get money or something, like we would go and pay $430 to get it out every month, because it was like we'd pay bills, but like we need groceries or we need something, right? Well, I have a wedding ring, like let's go pawn it, or I don't know. Like that's how we were living. And if I didn't have this business and this income, the only way that I would be able to put Berkeley in gymnastics was if I sold more things, right? Mom can go without this so that you can have that, okay? And so think of this business like that, do anything that it takes for you to reach those goals in this business, and yesterday in our team chat, I told y'all that my new goal was to complete our steps to success once a week. Can you imagine what that's going to do in a month? How much volume that brings in? how many new distributors that's bringing in. Like, that's kind of a goal that I'm not like so scared of it, but I'm kind of like, well, what if I don't reach it one week, right? Well, then just do your best the next week, okay? And like, that's why I love this business, is because it's what, it's us. You're paid off your efforts. Where you're going, it's your efforts, okay? So if you're sitting there and you're just like, I just don't feel like it, guess what? I just don't feel like it tonight. But what am I doing right now? I'm on this Zoom, pouring into y'all. When we get off, I'm going to get my kids in the bath. They're getting in the bed. Once they're asleep, guess what I'm doing? I'm messaging until I fall asleep, okay? Because I haven't really been able to message today because we've been at the doctor, getting a cast, all of the things. And so I'm going to make up for that tonight, okay? And that's why I love this business. It does, like, you're going to experience something. Yes, you're going to be busy some days, or, maybe you don't get all of your work done throughout the day. Hold yourself accountable. Do it at night. Wake up early the next morning and catch up. Get it done. That's what it's about. It's just like, we're blessed that we don't have a quota with this business, but think about a job where you did have a quota. What happens if you don't meet it?
Yeah.
You're getting kicked to the curb or something. I don't know, because I've never really had a job like that. But so what I want to talk on now is the importance of personal development, because you were just talking to us about all of the life, and all of that life that you experienced. Okay, so and just how do you talk about the importance of personal development and why it's so important to keep yourself full. Even if you're a Ruby, even if you're an executive, like, you have people looking up to you. You have to make sure that your cup is full, because, with this business, you're constantly pouring into other people. And so the importance of personal development, and just why, and I feel like in order for your business to really thrive and for you to really go, where you're intended to go with this, your heart and your mind, like, they've got to be in the right place. And so just talk about that, like, why the importance of all of that.
Well, I think, one, it prepares you for when life happens to others, because, like I said, for 3 months, life was happening to other people, precious people in my life. And yes, I am a dominant red. My next color is blue, and then maybe some yellow and some green. Okay. But I had to have sympathy. I had to be there, because these girls have become my family, my sisters, and I love them. But at the same time, I also know that I struggle with anxiety and depression, and I take other people's issues and I feel them very deeply. It's just something. I'm not yellow, but I guess God has this weird sense of humor, because I do take those on, but I know what my triggers are. And so it started to happen in June. And I was in Mobile, and I had an audible conversation with God. That was my personal development in that moment. It was an audible conversation. And I remember it like I was yelling on the golf cart, driving around my in-laws' property, and my husband thought I was yelling at somebody on the phone. Oh, no, just talking to God, trying to get my stuff together, because that is personal development. It is, to me. I've been doing this study with Cammie and them. It's been great. I watch Craig Rochelle. I don't know. Put a one in the comments if you know who Craig Rochelle is. My dad used to be his mentor some years back, but I watch him. I watch Stephen Furtick a lot, because here's my thing, and I don't know everybody's background, but when I ask my husband, how can I be a better wife? He says, just love Jesus more. Pay attention, be in the Word, and everything else is going to fall into place. And so that's what I do. That's what I do. And I listen to podcasts. Maybe it's Pam, maybe it's Jade, maybe it's whoever. It could be some random inspirational thing on YouTube. And I'm not great at it. I'm going to tell you that. And especially 2 weeks ago when life was happening to me, I didn't go into personal development. I went into robotic mode. I've been doing this for 4 years. I can't not do it. Woke up from bed after the seizure, signed a customer, because that's just what I do. It's just kind of like muscle memory. But the last few days, y'all, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. And my husband's like, what are you pouring into? What are you putting in? I said, nothing. I'm not putting anything in right now. I don't feel like it. But because somebody else close to me needed wisdom that I knew I didn't have, that propelled me forward. back into this, back into this, because someone dear to me needed it. So just like we'll do anything for our kids, my kids were my why, because I couldn't put diapers on them. I had to ask for money or sell something. And I will never, mamas, I want you to hear me. I will never, ever look at my child and say, you were the reason that I quit my business, because it just wasn't worth it. You were too much of a distraction. I will never do that, because I want them to have the best life that I can possibly give them. Don't ever look at your kids if they're your why and then quit because of your children, because they're watching you. My son sat right here with my daughter. They're 6 and 4, and they did the Fat Fighter demo. Word for word, they did it. They told you how to use the rap, and we recorded it because we're going to use it for some content later. But they watch you. They watch you. I got off. What was I saying? Personal development. But if you have nothing in your heart and your mind, and there's no connection there, there's going to be no longevity. There's going to be no longevity. So the one thing that you may read in the 3 pages or the 2 paragraphs that you get in one day, 2 paragraphs, 2 sentences is better than nothing. Our enemy never wants a testimony to come from our lips. Therefore, he never wants us to experience freedom, truth, and redemption. Freedom that this business can offer. All of everybody's life issues were a distraction for me. Did I still do what I needed to do? Yes, but I was scared to do other things. I was scared to recruit because my leaders aren't helping lead. That was a mentality issue. What is your mind telling you right now? Some of you put something in the comments, because I think we should address some stuff. Anyone? Okay, the lie that you can't bring in volume. But Carly can. Okay, Sarah, my mind has been telling me I should quit this. It isn't worth your time. Sarah, how long have you been in the business? Always fearful of letting my team down. Caroline, why are you fearful of letting your team down? Okay, Sarah, 2 weeks. Girl, give it time. Give it time. Because let me tell you something. I've also tried to commit suicide while I've been in this business because of an old teammate. She made this business a living hell for me, and my husband found me overdosed on medication. Okay, I have been through the ringer with It Works. Okay, not that they did it to me. It was people, and people will fail you. But here's what I'm going to tell you. Why did you join? Sarah, why did you join? Okay, Christina, attracting distributors. Why did you join? Who attracted you to the business? Okay, let's address some of this stuff. Can I, Carly? Is that okay?
Yes.
Getting ignored, all of the no's. Oh, Lord. Okay. Go for No is a book you need to read. That is your personal development. Go for No. Go read it. It changed my mindset on no's within the first year of my business. No's do not bother me at all anymore. And hell no's don't even bother me. Like, I'm like, okay, thanks for getting back to me. Bye. You got to switch your focus off of yourself and onto other people. When you said it in your sentence, you're trying so hard. You're trying too hard. Take the focus off of yourself and put it onto others. How can you help? And maybe you start this by interacting with posts. Ask questions in your posts. How many of you put a 1 in the comments if you have a really low engagement? Ask for advice. I know you can go to Google. Somebody told me that one time. I want you to go to Google. And I'm like, because I'm trying something here, okay? Because I want to interact with people. I want people's opinions. Message someone and say, hey, I saw that you're maybe in this group or you have this interest. Could you give me your opinion on this? You may not want their opinion at all. but you're asking. And that's how I interact with people. Because once they know that you care, if you're just wanting them for a sale, girl, you're trying too hard. You want people coming to you. You want people coming to you. Sarah, it says going on 2 weeks. So, okay, you started for your child, Sarah, is that right? Look at her every time, or him, and try harder and harder and harder. A lot of people, when they are working this on social media, it works. I want to know about your life. What is your vision? I don't care if your check was $2.30, your very first check. If you've been in 2 weeks, you haven't even had one yet. What do you want for your child? Talk about that. What is your vision for them? Remember how I went back and said, oh, remember that time that I stayed home all day, every day? People want to know that because I'm not there anymore. Now I get out just to get out of the house. Okay? What about this? Are you an overall happy person, laughing and going through your days, but behind the scenes you're an anxious, depressed mess? Maybe you do a live and you talk about it. Because when I decided today, when God said, walk in your weakness, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna talk about anxiety and depression. You guys, I called the clinic today and asked for all the material that they gave out in 2009 so I can start a Zoom group for people that struggle with anxiety and depression. We've got to think outside the box. If I'm just using a name here, if Marissa posts all day, every day about It Works and me joining her team, I'm going to see it. I'm going to see it. But if she reaches out to me every single day, will you do this for me? Will you do this for me? Do you want to buy a product? I'm going to be like, nope. Because I know what you're after. That's it. There's no depth to you. Afraid of failing a third time, being 37 weeks pregnant and constantly in pain and exhausted. Personal development, you guys, this is all about personal development. Because if your mind isn't strong, your heart's not going to be strong. Because you have to have that head to heart connection. You have to. What did I write down before? The enemy wants to distract you, and he wants to accuse you. So I want you to write down on your paper right now what he's accusing you of. Because if it's, and the thoughts, I can barely afford to take care of myself because I put all of my money to him. Sarah, I feel you. Been there, done that, but I was willing to do whatever it took. I messaged till I was blue in the face. I got told no a heck of a lot. I was willing to learn how to be a social media influencer. That's not really my thing, but I learned how to do it. Now I do it well. And it's gained me a lot of business. I entered a freaking beauty pageant last year, signed 7 distributors that all of them were in the pageant, and probably 20 customers. I decided to do something out of my comfort zone to help better my family. You have to be the one, because your son, your daughter, your parents, they're not going to do it for you anymore. You're going to have to do that. Put a 2 in the comments if you want to live on government assistance. And if you do, this is not a shot to you. Because I tried to be on it 4 years ago. But we made too much money to be on it and not enough to live, because that's how it is. If you want to live on government assistance, be my guest. But you don't have to be. Your excuses, they're not good here. Because you can. There's like 2 billion people on Facebook. Okay, sorry, I talk too much.
No, I love it. And, that's something that I actually pause. Hold on. Let me find it. because I sometimes like to go back and look at things. So we used to be on WIC, we used to be on food stamps, we used to be on Medicaid, and I kept it all, you guys. And not that I go back and read any of this stuff because I've kind of just like shoved it in a shelf over here. But like she said, do a live video. Every now and then I'll get this out. And I don't go through it really. The only thing I ever open is the first paper, and it just shows what we were allowed to get on WIC. This is from October 4th of 2016. I joined November of 2016.
Wow.
1 month before I joined this business, this is what I was allowed to get at the grocery store.
Wow.
And I get this out every now and then, and I only look at this paper. I don't look at anything else. And I do a live video on Facebook. I just talk about this. Like, I talk about, how I felt. I remember because I went to cosmetology school and I did my own nails. I did these nails. I did these. And so I remember going into the WIC office with my nails that I did that cost like, maybe $12. And I felt so scared. I was like, I'm in here to get help because I genuinely cannot go, and I can't go afford the $32 can of formula for my daughter. So I've, done all of this and I'm here, but I have my nails done, like people are going to judge me and think like, oh, well, you're mooching off of this or whatnot. And, when we got, when I would go to the grocery store and use this and, I felt like, I was in decent clothes. Like, to me, I was like, there's somebody out there who like maybe needs it more than I do, right? And so I was sitting there and I was grateful for that help because if we didn't have it, I don't know how, like, I don't know what we would have done, right? Like, yes, we had our family, but y'all might know this, but I don't like asking for help, clearly. Whenever we couldn't pay our water bill, I didn't go to my parents and say, can I please have $100? I didn't go to his family and ask for money. I just sold things and I found a way to get it done. That's why I went diamond in 4 months. I went diamond with nobody helping me. Like, my upline, yes, no downline. My emerald enrolled maybe 7 customers. My ruby, I promoted her to ruby 3 times before I went diamond. Myself. But I looked at that chart, I looked at that diamond chart, and I said, how bad do you want to be here? I joined this business, you guys, and literally the night I joined, I was in my shower, shampooing my hair, just like giving my ambassador speech. I'm like, oh yeah, like, I just saw it on Instagram and here I am, right? I knew nothing about the business and I was like, I'm going ambassador, okay? And I remember sitting down and looking at that diamond chart and just like, how bad do you want to be there? How bad do you want $2,000 a month? Because in all honesty, I had never seen $2,000 in my bank account. My first diamond check was like $1,400, and that was the most money that was ever in my bank account at one time. And I was like, whoa, I am balling. Like, everybody watch out, like, big bucks over here, okay? And I remember when I saw my first double check, $5,000 in my bank account, and I just started bawling. I saw my first triple check and I was emotional, like nothing, because I was just so like,
yeah,
what just happened? Okay. And this is where I was the month before I joined this business. I never realized it was the month before I joined, but it was the month before I joined. Okay. And so there's been life along the way, right? I've had to do personal development. I remember in the beginning, I was like, what is personal development? Like, I don't want to take the time to sit down and read a book. I don't want to take the time to sit down and listen to a podcast, right? I need to be sending messages and posting and having conversations, right? I want you to drop a 5 if you've ever felt burnt out. Just like, 5. I feel it almost weekly, right? Because I'm like, gosh dang, like, I just want to break, okay? We all want to break at some point. But whenever you start feeling that way, whenever I start getting that way, guess what I do? Okay? Just like, I'm pretty sure that black thing that you just showed was your Bible. Literally on my desk. Okay? And I get that out. Or this stack right here is my journal that I'll journal in. The 100 Days to Brave, Jesus is Calling. And then all of these are, this is the It's Not Supposed to Be This Way book that she keeps showing. Rachel Hollis and just other personal development things, I sit down and I just pull something out and I start reading it, okay? Or I go, or I go get in the bathtub and I listen to a podcast. And every podcast that I listen to, you guys, I listen to it at least twice. I listen to it, okay, here, take it over there. I listen to it, don't drop that, here, I'll set it down. I listen to it one time because normally my podcast time is when I'm in the bath, okay? And obviously I'm not taking notes in the bathtub. Come here. And so I listen to it in the bathtub. And then I'm like, dang, that's good. Oh my gosh, this is so good. So then I go to my office, okay, and I sit right here, and I get this spiral out. This is nothing but notes from Zooms, from podcasts, okay? And so when I start feeling burnt out, when I start feeling overwhelmed, when I start feeling like I'm not doing enough or that I'm letting, my team down, I go to this and start reading. I go to my Bible and start reading, or I just grab a book and I just start reading something, okay? And let me tell you something. Every single time I do that, I'll be 2 pages in. And I'm like, where's my highlighter? Everything's standing out to me. This is all so good. And then guess what I do? I get my phone and I put it right here in my little stand and I go live on our team page. And I'm like, I'm just like reading and drop a 6. I know y'all seen those lives. I'm just like, hey, I just read this and, I'm sharing it with y'all, right? Or sometimes I come home from church and I'm like, okay, so today's sermon, I was sitting there listening to it, and the whole time I was like, wow, this is life, but also this is my business. It's like it's just hitting me in my forehead, and I'm like, my wheels are turning. I'm like, I've got to share this, okay? That's me pouring, filling my cup up, and then it's overflowing into y'all, okay? Now, let's pretend that when Carly starts feeling overwhelmed, Carly just sits, okay? And she doesn't talk to anybody, and she doesn't work, and she's not doing her personal development, and I'm just here. And I'm just feeling all of my feelings, and I'm just not doing anything to get past this. What starts happening? Well, our leaders are going to sense that, right? They're going to see what's going on with Carly. And let me tell you something. This has happened before. This has happened. It happened a couple months ago. Not a couple, but how long ago was it? 4-ish. It was May, I want to say, right? I kind of took a weekend. It was just I was in this, I was just in my head, right? And I was just I don't know what I'm doing. I feel funky. And literally, Allison thought I was quitting It Works because I was so not here, okay? I will never quit this business, okay? Literally, it would have to not exist for me to leave It Works. But Allison was like, Carly's quitting It Works. She's so not herself. Do y'all want to know what I was not doing? I'm going to take a guess. Personal development. I was not doing it, okay?
And sometimes it only takes
a
2
day.
days.
Yeah. One day and you're just spiraling and it's okay, how do I overcome this? Drop a 6 if you've ever asked yourself, how do I overcome this?
But that's what the enemy's waiting for. Those little times when you're weak and you don't do what you've always been doing, and he's like, holla, here I am. Boom, I'm going to lie to you and I'm going to accuse you. I'm going to put all these thoughts in your head, and then you're going to feel like everything's falling apart.
Yes. And, like she said, it takes the littlest thing. It was literally one weekend, you guys. It was one weekend. And, it was just the tiniest crack. That's Huxley. Anytime the front door opens, he's his nose is already out the door. And I'm like, get your butt back in, okay? That's all it takes. And, whenever I get like that, I'm like, maybe that was it for you. Maybe you're not meant to go Prez. Maybe you're not meant to go ambassador. Maybe Triple was as high as you're going to get. You had your fame, and that's that. No. We will be a presidential team. We will be an ambassador team. Do y'all want to know how? Because I'm going to show up to this business every single day. Every single day. I'm going to do the things that I have to do for this business every single day. Right behind my computer, there is a like little file holder, and it has binder or like folders, and whenever you go Triple, you get this super cute little notebook. It's got that right there, and literally on that is a sticky note, and it says dailies, and it has the things that I do daily. Do y'all see this white paper right here behind me? That's my daily to-do list as well. It's behind me and it's in front of me. So no matter which direction I'm sitting, I see what I have to do daily for this business. Okay? And do y'all want to know something? I do not go to sleep at night. I do not close my eyes until those dailies are done. Every day.
You want to sit by me on the couch?
I will in just a second. You can sit here with me. So, real quick, hold on, Berkeley. Real quick, what I want to talk about is, she literally like 1 hour, and then she's like, hello, here I am again. Real quick, we have some, here, do you want Adley videos? Okay. Let me get these videos going for her. Let me find my questions. Okay, so tips for getting people to interact with you more on posting or on your posts and on your stories.
I think you just have to interact with people. Like I said before, asking questions, ask for advice, because if you do that on your posts, tag a boyfriend, I tag Adam so his friends can see it, and I interact with them right there, so that it's generating a lot of comments. It'll help your algorithm. Other people can chime in. Be careful with what you talk about. Know what you're talking about if it's something serious. But asking questions. I mean, that's how I increase engagement on my stuff.
I love that. And something too, you guys, that I have done is I ask, how should I make my coffee this morning? Hot or cold? And people are like, cold, hot. And it's people who I'm like, who are you? You're telling me that I need to drink my coffee cold? I think I'm going to have it hot, right? So that was really good. Let's see. So I had one that I wrote down. I wrote these like so quick that it's, okay. So real quick, because I feel like this does go into personal development, and I don't know if anything we've said kind of really ties into it, but advice for trying to promote while you're dealing with like difficult things through life, like finances, or just, things just not being or going how they're supposed to go. What are tips for like keeping your eyes on the prize, basically?
So for now, everybody needs to start personal development yesterday. Commit to starting that now, like right now, because it's not something that I did either. Like I would read my Bible, and sometimes I would read books, but I did it for pleasure and not really for development. It needs to be something that's going to benefit you, that inspires you, because then you're going to be prepared for those times. It's just going to be something that you do. Or here's the other thing. You're going to be in a hole like I was the past couple of days, but you're going to remember something that inspired you, and you're going to remember something that you read, or you'll have it taped up somewhere and it'll remind you. So it's what you do now that's going to determine how you're going to react. You're allowed to be down for a day, okay? You're allowed to have the emotions, but you got to get through that. And no one's going to do that unless you pay a counselor, and that can get expensive, but you've got to prepare for that now. So if you are not willing to do personal development, I'm sorry, darling, but you're not going to be successful in this business, because it is 110,000% mindset, because that's what's going to get you from point A to point B. If you're worried about promoting, worry about helping other people. More people, not yourself. Help more people. You've got to take everything off of you. And that's what I told Cammie today. I don't feel like my team is winning. I want them to win, but they also have to show up as well. You want $200 a month? Let's get a roadmap, 2 distributors, 4 customers. Why haven't you done that? Well, I'm messaging. Well, what are you sending? You could be sending something completely wrong. That's where I'm here to guide you, but the team has to show up. If you are willing to get constructive criticism, I've been in music theater my whole life. I got critiqued, and it was them to point out, this is good, but it could be great. So let's fix it. Let's work on it. How many of you would love for people to say, would love for Carly to say, yeah, no, this isn't going to cut it. Let's change it to this. And immediately you start getting responses. Put a 1 in the comments. You got to ask, is this okay? I'm sending this message out. But here's the thing, if you're not showing up and if you're not telling, I'm sending the messages, I'm doing this. Because I have girls that do that. And I said, well, what are you sending? Completely wrong thing to be sending to asking for distributors. So we tweaked it, and guess what? Within 30 minutes, she had replies. Okay? So it can be just a little tweak, but that's where you have to you've got to remove any kind of fear that you're inadequate. Because you're not. If you're messaging and you're doing all the right things, amazing job to you, because you're putting things in action. Now we just got to tweak it to change it to the right thing so that you can get to that next step. Okay. You miss a promotion. It's okay if you're doing the right things. It's all about the growth, but you got to do personal development yesterday in order to prepare you for those times that you're down, and to prepare you for when people on your team are down and you need to pour into them. Because if you don't have anything left in your well, you're empty, and so are they, and you have nothing to offer them but maybe criticism that's coming from a dry place. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I love that. And, that's some that kind of just made a light bulb go off in my head. Obviously, yes, I do my personal development, but, what if I hadn't done my personal development one day and somebody comes to me and they're like, I'm doing this, but I'm not producing anything. How do I do this? And I'm, trying to critique and lead you from a place where I'm not my best. That's why we start every day with personal development, you guys. Every single day, every day. Come down or go to wherever you work and do personal development in some kind of way. Okay. So how do you show people that this business is real and that you can make real money? As a new distributor, okay? Because our team, we had, with these codes, obviously, we have so many new distributors, and I'm so grateful that they're here. And, I remember me as a new distributor, I was but I haven't made any money yet. So how do I let everybody know that, yes, you can make money with this?
So you open your business every day by saying, good morning, hello, Facebook world, hello, all 2 billion of you people, and 5 of you see me. But you 5 could end up changing my business. So when I first joined, they didn't really teach me how to post. I took stuff from Pinterest, and y'all, I was an absolute mess. You would not want me on your team. You'd be like, oh my gosh, you were the worst distributor ever. But I was consistent with it enough that I was posting about the products. Someone was going to see it, but that's the point. You've got to be present. How many of you solely work your business on social media? Put a 2. Okay, me too. Pretty much. How many of you, if you're willing to be honest, you're not going to get in trouble. Put a 5 in the comments if you're like, yeah, I don't work my business every day on social media. Put a 5 in the comments. You're not in trouble. This is a challenge for you to do that, to do it. Awesome. Everyone is. That's awesome. So do it more. Do it more. If you need help, if you've been in a week and you feel like you've made no progress, ask. They always say get your ask in gear. And that's not just with asking for business or asking for host to post or asking someone to join your team. It is asking your upline, your sideline, what are you doing? What could I be doing better? What can I do more of? And that's such a good quality to have. Do you know that businesses look for that in people that they hire that will be leading other people? How can I further develop? So as someone that's new, I would do all the things, all of them, so that you can find which one's your niche. And you got to go live, and you have to be loud. You're not making a dime. Great. Tell me how much money you're going to make. Tell me what you're working towards. That's what I did, because there was a $500 Ruby bonus. There's no bonuses right now, but there's freaking Margaritaville. Okay. There are distributors that are going to earn that. Distributor ranks. Okay. They're not even an executive yet, and they'll earn it. They'll probably be Ruby by the time they get to go, or maybe more. But I'm working towards this trip. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to have the opportunity to at least compete in this. You've got to put things out that are exciting. I was going to get that $500 Ruby bonus. And you know what? I didn't have any of there were 5. We had to have 5 people at that point. None of them were working. 2,000 in volume. I did it all by myself in 2 months, all by myself. I was darn proud of that. Okay. But you got to put something out there. And if you don't know what you're working towards and you're not talking about what you're working towards, no one's going to want to join you or follow you because you have no idea where you're going. I'm going presidential in 2020. It will happen. It will happen. And I've always known that I'm headed towards the top, which is why I have a team as big as I do, is because people trust me to guide them. Now, it's their job to execute. So just do all the things. If one thing you don't like and you've tried it, but here's the thing, Gary Vaynerchuk. Do you know Gary Vaynerchuk? Put a 1 in the comments. He's got a filthy mouth, but he is brilliant. He talked to no one on his YouTube channel for a year about wine. Maybe half a dozen views, but he consistently did it. And now look at him. He never gave up. He just never gave up. And I think that's the difference in Carly and I and the 80% of people who quit this business is we just decide not to. We keep reinventing ourselves, our dreams, our visions. And isn't that amazing that you get to do that? You get to do that. You don't have to do it for anyone else unless you are working and planning someone else's future. You get to do that for you. So what is your vision? Because if you haven't figured that out, please do that tonight. Please do that, because I've been scrolling through here. You don't have any ugly people on your team. I'm just looking at all these pretty faces. Anyway, but you guys are so beautiful. And you have so much more underneath your skin, whether you are an extrovert, an introvert, or you're a little bit of both. Start attacking what you think is a weakness, but play on your strengths every day. Tap into your weaknesses every day, but go with your strengths. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So for me, my weaknesses are my depression and anxiety, but I'm going to claim those and I'm going to start doing live things and trying to help people manage their depression and anxiety. Because here's the deal. I know we're going over, but when I called to get those sheets today, she was asking about my time at the clinic. I was in and out in 21 days when most people were there 9 weeks or more because I wanted to get well. I did not want that to be my future in my life. I wanted to get married someday and I didn't want to have baggage. I don't want my kids to end up going through all the things that I went through. So I need to learn how to deal with them so that I don't put them on them. I had a lot of things to work through. But do you know, because I was number 183 in the company a few months ago, I was shocked. And I told her I was in the top 200 of a network marketing company out of 250,000 actively paid distributors. And she goes, "Are you serious?" She goes, "With someone that has what you struggle with, that's impressive, because most people get too bogged down even after treatment." And that meant the world to me, coming from a doctor. You can overcome anything. Anything. Treatment was personal development, intensive. So your whole life, you can either choose to ignore your person that you have to take care of first so that you can take care of everything else, or live a mediocre life, because there is more. There's more for Carly. There's more for Marissa and Brianna and Ashley and Caroline. There's more for all of us. The reason people don't have it. Hold on. I know we're going over, but y'all just hold on with me for a dang second. I said it on Instagram today because I had my Madonna outfit on for this photo shoot. Okay. Photo shoots I never used to do, but I do them now. Madonna. A lot of people are scared to say what they want. That's why they don't get what they want. A lot of people are scared to say what they want. That's why they don't get what they want. And you won't get what you want because you're afraid to even say it out loud to yourself, to admit it. Once you can say it out loud to yourself, say it to your upline. I told my upline I wanted all of the money. I have seen 5-figure checks consistently for months in a row. And it's an amazing thing. We paid off $40,000 in less than 4 years of debt. Start saying what you want and stop thinking all of the things that the enemy is accusing you of. That's all I got.
That is, I'm like, I don't even have word. Like, that was so good. I just like wrote that last quote that you said down, and I think that just like completely probably changed a lot of businesses on here. But you said something earlier about, moms, and I kind of like wrote some things down that I wanted to touch on. It is not easy being a mom and balancing this business, right? Okay. Y'all are going to see, obviously, on social media more of the, oh, we're doing this and everything looks so great, when really, I had to Berkeley, for me to take a picture of her while laying in her pallet earlier with her cats. I was like, please, like, I'll give you a piece of candy, right? Like, it's not just all highlight reels. Like, it's hard work, okay? There are multiple times where I'm just like, I am exhausted today from chasing kids and taking care of this and cleaning the house and doing laundry and working my business, but I still show up, right? Because this is my calling. Like, I know that this business was placed in my life for a reason, and I know that it was placed in your life for a reason, okay? And you were made for more, okay? You were not made to just go Ruby and sit there and then quit. You were not made to just go Diamond and then lose rank to executive and then just quit, okay? Maybe that will happen, but you're going to overcome that, okay? You're going to lose rank. I've lost rank. Everybody loses rank, okay? It's normal. If you don't lose rank, you're weird. Like, everybody loses rank, but you overcome that and you push through it. It's just like Cammie said. At Green Carpet. God didn't make bridges; those are man-made. God made valleys. You're going to be at the top. You're going to be experiencing those highs, and you're going to have a low. But guess what? You can't just go from mountaintop to mountaintop to mountaintop to mountaintop to mountaintop. Okay? You're going to experience something. You're going to overcome it. You're going to be back on top. You're going to experience something. You're overcome it, back on top. And then something else that made it popped an idea in my head. Here, you can sit in my lap. We're almost done. Was okay. I was watching a Zoom the other night, and it was with Kelly Brown, and she said, "You're not missing anything. There's no piece of the puzzle that you don't have. You have all of the pieces. You know to message. You know to post. You know to do personal development. You know to grow your network. You know to follow up. You know to chart. You know how to do all of the things that you have to do for this business. But are you doing them? Okay, and if you're doing it, but you're still not seeing the results and you're still just not where you want to be, just do more of that. More posting, more messages, more following up, more personal development, right? Because, and I've told my team this, like, Carly who went triple is not Carly who's going prez.
Right.
And last year, I've had to work on myself more than I've ever had to work on myself. Yep. Okay? But prez is a huge promotion. Okay? That's something huge. So Carly's got to get bigger. Carly can't stay in this circle to go I've got to get bigger if I'm making bigger goals, okay? And two, to touch on that last question that she talked about, how do you show people that you're making money? You talk about where you're going, what it's going to do for you. And it made me remember, I was not even a Ruby, you guys, not even a Ruby. I had not promoted in this business. And I was posting, when I go Diamond, when I get a $10,000 bonus, because I went Diamond in 4 months, got a $10,000 bonus. Yep. Right out of the gate, that's what I was talking about, okay? So maybe you're scared to say that you're going Diamond, and that's why it's not happening right now. Start talking about where you're going. Start talking about where you want to be, and just start doing more of all of the things, okay? So I'm going to stop the recording.